Hi guys, Terry here. Hey, I'm back with another scrapbooking tip. I took a trip in the springtime. In May. Steve and I went to the East Coast and we saw several places. And I love to fit, we were gone for 2 weeks, so I had tons of photos. So I wanted a nice, simple way to summarize our trip. And I came up with this 4-page layout. So what I did was I used the Mosaic Moments paper. You've seen me use that before. It's a grid, 1-inch grids on a 12 by 12 piece of paper. And then I've simply cut my photos down the page, and it's amazing how many photos you can get on a page using their grid system. And one of the things that I've learned to do over my travels is to keep a journal. So I write down what we do each day because I'm not going to remember what we did, where we ate, what we saw. So I love to keep a little travel journal. It's something I can fit in my purse and just have with me and jot down what we did. So really highly suggest keeping a journal when you go on your trips. But then when I came back, I wanted a way to journal on here, and of course I tried writing it with my hands. I don't love my handwriting, but I do appreciate that it's nice. Our handwriting is a part of us. It's nice to have that in your albums. But I wanted a way to journal, and what I did with these pages is each of these columns here is a day of what we did. So depending on how the pictures fell, I tried to do 3 columns, but sometimes this was the first day traveling, and then we did a lot this first day kind of in town. So each column here represents a day, and then at the top of it I wanted a journal. So I decided to use Microsoft Word. So let me give you some tips on using Microsoft Word to journal and get this size correctly, and then how to put it through your printer and print it on cardstock. Okay, so I have Microsoft Word open, and the first thing I'm going to do is when I'm inserting my text here, notice that the margin is 6.5 here. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring this margin in to the size of, I'm just going to type something here so you can see. So it's going to wrap there at the 3-inch mark. So if I know that I've got 4 columns or 3 columns, then I know to make this, 3 to 4 inches here. And then depending on what my words are like, I might decide to scoot this in a little bit, just to make my words be 3 equal lines there. So what I'll do is, by changing that margin, I've got this size, the right wrapping, and then I'll put 3 to 4 lines will fit on a 1-inch piece there. So I cut my cardstock to be that size. But the first thing that you want to do is, after you got your words typed and if you have to have it sized, you will send that to the printer. So let me show you what that looks like. I'll go grab that off the printer. Okay, so over on my die cutting machine, I use my Mosaic Moments to cut the right size for the top of my column here. So this would go like on here. And then from my printer, I printed it on plain printer paper from my Word document. And now I'm simply going to tape this on that spot there. Let me get my tape. I'm just going to tape this in place, looking at where if you wanted to, you could draw some lines to extend this. Let me show you. You could draw some lines on here to kind of extend where this is at, so that when you put this on here, you kind of want to do this too, so that when you cover this up, you can kind of see where your words are, and then you can better center it. But then I'm going to tape this in place, And I'm careful not to put my tape. I'm just holding the lip here in on that. Let me zoom in. I'm just putting the tape on the very lip here. I mean, these lines will show me where my words come to, but I'm just holding it in place because my printer, I'm going to lay this in my printer tray upside down like this, because my printer is going to grab it from the tray and then bring it up here and print on it. That's how my paper feeds through my printer. Your printer may be different. But I've taped that in place knowing where my words are. And then let me just send that through and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, I'm back in Word, and without changing anything on my document, I'm just going to send it to the printer again. Go grab that. Okay, and here's how it printed. So it worked out great. I highly recommend this. You can keep reusing your sheet because you can just load it in your printer another direction. But then just simply carefully pull off the tape here. You can reuse your tape. And you are all set to go. Now I use liquid adhesive, but you use whatever you're used to using in your scrapbook. And then I would simply glue this down in place on my scrapbook layout. So when I found out how to do this in Microsoft Word, print it, and then put my cardstock on there, this is just the quickest, easiest way to do your journaling if you don't like your handwriting. So again, I highly recommend it, and I will have links to my blog post that has these steps outlined so you can follow along. And subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate your help with that. It helps me on YouTube. And I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.